Okay, welcome in to another episode of the New Wave Certified Podcast. I'm your host, John Larkin, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about our upcoming plyometric program that we're running here at New Wave Performance, and then as well as covering Week 7 recap and Week 8 preview between some really two ranked teams here in Iowa. So it should be a good episode. You don't want to miss. Make sure you comment, you like, subscribe, let us know what you want to see next. And before I get too far into it, make sure you guys go check out our previous episodes covering the Wave of Opportunity Foundation, what we do there. It is a nonprofit organization here in Cedar Rapids that's designed to benefit athletes in the community, giving them more opportunities to participate in travel sports, as well as just any other types of resources that they need to be successful in the world of sports. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Our upcoming plyometric program starts November 3rd. That's a Monday, first Monday of November. And essentially what it is, it's just a program that's going to allow athletes to increase their vertical jump by about 2 to 4 inches. Those are some of the past results we've had last year with about like 30 or so athletes that were training about 1 to 3 times a week, as well as, improving your mobility and your overall explosiveness, right? And so the program is designed to give you that first step explosiveness in the vertical sense. So think about coming out of an athletic stance and being able to explode up, go reach the ball, go jump out of your blocks, so on and so forth, right? So the plyometric program is going to lay the foundation for that. And again, it's just one of our favorite programs that we run for the athletes here. Every time I bring it up, athletes here, they get really excited. They can't wait for it. So I'm already knowing it's going to be another great year of plyos here at New Wave Performance. So again, 2 to 4 inches, that's what you can kind of expect. So again, if you're like this close to dunking a basketball, you're going to be able to do that. So the Week 7 recap, we went to watch some of our guys that we train at Center Point-Urbana play Makokata at home. This was the first time that I've actually gone to watch small school football. Me and a couple of the guys joked, it's the first grass field that we've been to all season, and it didn't disappoint. Center Point-Urbana, they put up 50. Yeah, that's right, 5-0 on Makokata. Our guys, they balled out. The quarterback, Brennan Merkel, had 170 all-purpose yards, but he had 3 touchdowns. He had 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, as well as a pair of 2-point conversions. Riley Haney, he had 107 yards rushing on 14 opportunities and 1 touchdown. And then shout out to Evan Rambarger, wide receiver, caught one of his first passes of the year for a touchdown. Caught the opening touchdown of the game. So, Center Point-Urbana, they got it rolling early, and they didn't really look back. They kept their foot on the gas, and, man, they made some plays all night to keep Makokata out of it. But one of the things I really enjoyed about the game was not only watching our athletes succeed and make plays and just seeing their joy after the game and during the game, but it was also kind of like feeling a part of like that small town community and just feeling like the positivity coming from the parents and people in the stands, because, CPU, they haven't won a ton of games this year, but, the one game that we went to, they ended up winning. So that was kind of special. And I just remember, one of my favorite moments actually happened like after the game was over, when I got to, hang out with the guys after the game and kind of talk to them and get their instant reactions and so on and so forth. But the bigger thing for me, because I see these guys, every week, but the biggest thing for me was seeing the parents and their reactions, and just it just seemed like they're very proud of their kids, and their boys, and like they were telling me thank you. I'm like, man, like, I don't know, it's kind of a special feeling, but that to me was like the bigger part, just seeing the impact that we were able to make on not only the kids, but also the parents. And just knowing that, their investments paid off and the hard work of their kids paid off. And it's almost like a lesson to be learned that when you invest, in yourself and you really put in the work, like good things can happen. So it was just kind of like a feel good, you know what I mean, after the end of the game, and something that, I won't forget for a very long time. So yeah, it was just really special. But again, shout out to the guys. They balled out, they did their thing. But flipping the page over, week 8 preview, we've got a matchup between 2 ranked opponents. It is number 13 ranked Prairie versus number 9 ranked Iowa City West. And this is a game that is huge for playoff implications, right? So Prairie, they dropped their last game to, I think it was Cedar Falls. They played Cedar Falls. They dropped that game. They needed to win that game to, secure like a home playoff game, I believe. But again, they ended up losing that one. So West is 6-1, and I want to say Prairie is 4-3. So a little bit about like the resumes between the two teams. I've seen both teams play, so we'll kind of dive into the matchups. But as far as the resumes go, West has, in my opinion, a little bit more of an impressive resume. I think the strength of schedule favors Prairie more. I think they've played more ranked opponents, but Prairie is 0-2 versus winning teams. So something to kind of keep note about. West, they could easily be 7-0. Their toughest opponent they lost to was Liberty, right? And they were in that game at half. They had all the momentum in the first half. You want to look back at that episode and that recap, go check that out. We were at that game. So, but there is a little bit of history to this one. So Prairie has won the last 4 matchups in a row. So they kind of have their number, right? So it's kind of curious to see, if that'll continue. I remember last year I went and watched Prairie play against West, and they played them at home, and they beat them, right? And so this game is played at Prairie, so you wonder, if there's some psychological things there with the coaching staff and all that good stuff. But as far as like the matchups go, I think that like when you look at the defensive side of the ball for both teams, they're going to force takeaways. Prairie, they have 7 interceptions on the year. I think West only has like 1. But if you look at the other side, the fumbles, right? West has a lot more forced fumbles than Prairie does. And the reason why I bring that up is because every time I talk about Prairie, this will be like the 3rd time I've talked about Prairie. The number one thing I always talk about is the turnovers and winning the turnover battle and making sure that you eliminate those. And their most recent loss to Cedar Falls, they didn't do that. And so, again, when you play the good teams, you cannot do that. And that's obviously shown in their 2 losses that they have against those teams with winning records. And so, again, they're going to play another team with a winning record, West, 6-1. If they turn the ball over, history has shown that it doesn't really benefit them. So we'll see if they can kind of, handle that. But as far as like the offensive side of the ball, I think that, both teams have quarterbacks that are more than capable of throwing the ball down the field and making plays that way. Running back, I think that Prairie's probably got an edge as far as like guys that can work within a committee, right, and carry the football for them. It's not just one guy. And then again, when it comes to wide receiver, I guess, West, they've got a pretty good wide receiver as well. So we'll be watching him play. And then, Prairie, they've got their guys as well. So when it comes to making like a prediction in this one, how do I think the game is going to flow? Well, West, when I watched them last time, they got off to a fast start. And, that was against a good Liberty team. So I wouldn't doubt it if they tried to get off to a fast start as well. Probably going to score like 7 or 14 in the first quarter against Prairie. Prairie's probably they've actually got off to slow starts. I think Prairie has. I think there's a couple games where they've only scored 3 points in the first half, and that was against Bet, I want to say, and then last week against Cedar Falls, they only scored 3 points in the first half. So turnovers and getting off to slow starts. So you wonder, is that going to be something that we need to pay more attention to? Is West going to get out to an early lead, and then is Prairie going to be playing catch up? I mean, the last couple times that they've lost, they've had to play catch up. So it's not like they've gotten out to big leads and blew the lead, right? On the other hand, West actually got out to a big lead against Liberty, and they ended up blowing that one. I think it was like a 2-possession game. They ended up blowing that one. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to make a prediction. We've got kids from both sides. We've got, corners, we've got receivers, we got running backs, we got all that good stuff, linebackers. It's hard to, choose a side, pick a side and stay there type thing. But, obviously I'm going to wish both teams best of luck, and all the kids that train here at New Wave, best of luck. I think that when it comes down to like picking a final score, it'll probably be, it's hard for me to say this, but I am kind of leaning towards the West side, just because of the factors that we talked about. But if I had to pick the final score, I think it will be like 24-17 West. So 3 touchdowns by West, paired up with a field goal, and then probably 2 touchdowns from Prairie paired up with a field goal. So that's how you get the 24-17. But and then also want to take a quick moment and talk about the merchandise that we've been selling. We just ran a sale, and we're almost sold out of larges. So we're sold out of the XX, and then we only have like 3 left of the larges, and then 3 left of mediums. So we're almost sold out. So make sure y'all go on the website, newwaveperformance.com/shop. Go get you a New Wave Performance hoodie. They're selling out fast. Make sure you get your hands on them now. All right, so thank you for tuning in to episode 19 of New Wave Certified. Again, let us know what you guys want to see next, new guests that you want to see on the podcast. We'll definitely be adding more once the football season wraps up, and then we'll definitely be diving into more training topics as well. So again, signing off, New Wave Certified. I'm your host, John Larkin. We'll see you guys next time.